Okay, so today's video is sponsored by NextPCB. So let's open this up and take a look what they sent, and then we'll talk a little bit about our sponsor. Okay, so I like that packaging. There's plenty of padding in there in the box to protect these, and these are nice and tight, so they're not going to be sliding around in there, damaging each other. So let's go ahead and cut these open and take a look at them. So there we go. I'm actually surprised. Since since they were sponsoring the video, I invited them to add their logo to it, but they just left it how I had it in the Gerber file, which is cool. I mean, I'm super happy to have these. Um, so as you can see, this supports an Arduino Nano to sit in there, and then the rest of it is just these guys. Okay, so before we get any further into this video, let's take a moment to talk about today's sponsor. So today's sponsor is NextPCB. They're a PCB manufacturer. They're not a broker, so they're not going to different factories to get it done. They do it in-house. They have really fast lead times on it, and then they do turnkey PCB assembly too if you want them to just go ahead and assemble it and ship it as a finished prototype to you. They also offer the SMD stencils, so that way you can get your stencil for doing your SMD work at home, which can be very helpful when you're doing these boards with a lot of small components. Another cool thing that they do that I really like is they do a free trial order. So that way, if you're just doing a first time order with them, you're not sure which manufacturer you want to go with. They do a free trial, so that way you can see the quality of their work. You just come in, select it, put all your different parameters that you need in there, upload your Gerber file, and just make sure you select that you want the free trial instead of the paid. And then also what you have to pay is shipping, which any of these manufacturers that have any sort of special going on, you still always have to pay shipping. The DHL Air is fast. Let me tell you, I got this in less than a week with even with everything going on in the world today, because things are crazy right now with the virus going around, and I was still able to get this in less than a week. And then you could also go with China Post, which is a little bit cheaper. Again, just make sure you set it to the right setting. And again, they're gonna print their logo on there, but who cares? It's a free sample. That's great. So I've had an excellent experience with them, and I'm not just saying this because it's sponsored. The customer service was outstanding when I was talking to them. They were very quick to get things shipped out, communicated very well. So very pleased with my experience with them. Let's get back into the video now and start putting together this PCB. So let's get started putting this thing together. I had to salvage this header off of something else because I forgot to order some, but it'll work. So let's just start with putting the header on. So we got the little Omnivice out to set the board down in, and drop the header out of it. Let's just put down a little flux to hold it in place. Okay, so I skipped a couple of solder joints on here just because they go to no stuff right now anyways. So we're just going to go ahead and give it a test run and make sure this thing works before I take the time to solder down every one of these pins. So let me grab our clip here, make sure it lines up still. Let's see, pin 1 is right here. Alright, cool. So our clip sits on there nicely. Let me go find a board real quick and then we'll power this thing up and test it. Okay, so let's give this thing a little test run here. So let's power it up. Alright, powers up just fine. See here, COM port 10, yep, it's showing up. Let's go to serial monitor here. Looks like we're still working. Let's clip this on here. Pin 1. I may have missed that. Let's try one more time. Alright, and so the whole point of this update to this was that way we can plug it in while the board's still powered on. These transistors here are just turning off power to the to the thing. So let's go ahead and try to do a read here. So let's send it a 1 so that way it knows we're trying to read. And yep, that looks like we got a good read there. So it works in this setup. So let's go ahead and finish soldering down the rest of the legs on this thing. We'll call this one done. Okay, so before I finish out this video, just wanted to put these out here in the video. So R1, R2 are 10 ohms, so that's these two resistors here. And then R3 and R4 are 10K ohms, they're those two right there. And then we have a 2N2222, which is this transistor here, and then we have a 2N5401, which is this transistor here. I did it with all through-hole components because I figured it'd be easier for other people to make these themselves versus doing them as SMDs, and also more likely for people to have the components laying around, because these transistors are pretty common to have in any kit of transistors you may order, and same with these resistors you would definitely have if you've ever ordered a book of resistors. So you'd have most of the components on hand. Then this is just a header here, and this is the same clip that I used in the video, which was titled, oh, I can't remember the name of the title of it, but it was where I tried to use the Mini Pro programmer to do in-circuit programming, and it didn't work. Which is what led to this entire project of making this, which is smaller, so it takes up less room on your workbench than a Mini Pro, and in my opinion does a better job because we can do it in-circuit versus having to get the hot air station out and take it off the board, put that away. So yeah, I hope you like this. I'm gonna put the files out. The Gerber file is going to be on my GitHub, so that way you can just download the Gerber file and send it to whoever you like. It'd be best if you send it to our sponsor, because we already know that they do a good job of printing these. It's a very fair price. I also have 10 of these now. Definitely willing to sell them. Probably won't be doing them with the Arduino on them. Haven't really put much thought into that. If there's any interest in just buying an already done up one of these, let me know, and let me know how you'd prefer to get it. If you want me to just go ahead and put the Arduino on there with the firmware on it, or if you're comfortable with it. So let me know down in the comments if there's any interest in actually buying any of these. I ordered a 3D printer. I'm going to start making little cases to put on the bottom of them if there's any interest to them. The 3D printer hasn't shown up yet though, so have no idea when it'll show up. The seller was U.S. stock, shipped guaranteed in like 3-day shipping, and then they made the shipping label and still haven't shipped it. So I know the scam they're playing there. They really are selling it. It's just gonna take forever to get here. The U.S. stock is in China, and then they're gonna DHL it over, and then ship it, put a new shipping label on it, and then ship it from wherever they said they were shipping it from. So I can't stand when sellers on eBay do that. It's not uncommon though. This isn't my first time running into that. But yeah, hopefully you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you have any interest in ordering just the PCB, the Gerber file is going to be in my GitHub, so that way you can just order them from NextPCB or whoever you choose to use. But again, I'd recommend just going with the sponsor for the video because they definitely did a good job, very fast shipping. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.